city of Lagos and across the country. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is our focus this morning on the morning crossfire. And of course, we will be looking at, we have a guest already comfortably um, seated by. He's joining us via Zoom from the nation's capital, Abuja. He'll give us a perspective from the Palestinian side of things because it's important for us to really understand from the different sides what exactly is going on. This is a conflict that has grappled the world for decades now. It didn't start today, for more than 40 to 50 years, about 56 years or so. So we'll talk about that. If you'd like to be a part of our conversation, our numbers are always available for you. 0700 993 993 993 is our hotline. 0700 993 993 993 is our hotline. Please feel free to call that number to participate in our conversation this morning. For our female listeners, you can reach us via that number, or you can also reach us via the alternative line, which is special for only and exclusive to our female listeners, 01465 7190. 01465 7190. On Twitter or X, we're at Nigeria Info FM. All right, we're taking your comments there as well. On Facebook, search for Nigeria Info space 99.3. That's on Facebook, Nigeria Info space 99.3. Of course, you can search us out on YouTube. Simply search for Nigeria Info FM. On Instagram, it's Nigeria Info FM Lagos. Joining us this morning on the Crossfire is the ambassador of the state of the Palestine to Nigeria. The ambassador of the state of Palestine to Nigeria. He's joining us via Zoom from the nation's capital, Abuja, and he'll be talking about the Palestinian perspective of things as far as this Israeli Hamas or Israeli-Palestinian conflict, let's call it that, is concerned. If you want to go to a broader perspective, we'll call it Israeli-Palestinian conflict. His Excellency Abdullah, Ambassador Abdullah Abu Shawesh, good morning to you, and nice to talk to you again for the second time in a number of days.
Very good morning to you and to your followers. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Fantastic. What is the current state of affairs in the Gaza Strip, and by extension in the entire Palestinian territories, including the West Bank?
Horrific. Just this is the main issue, or the main title that I can describe what is happening. Genocide, horrific, war crimes. Again, another Nakba. Nakba mean what has happened to the Palestinian people 75 years ago. This is what is happening right now in Palestine, the West Bank and Gaza. More than around 5,000 who count at the very end, because there is still the numbering, unfortunately, of the numbering of the killed Palestinian people is still rising, and there is more than 1,500 is still missing. More than 5,700 Palestinians was killed. The majority of them is children and women. More than 6,000 houses was completely destroyed. More than 100,000 partially destroyed. The majority of the Palestinian people in Gaza, or 50+% of them, was forcefully displaced person became, and they forced to leave their homes in the north of Gaza to south. And just one important thing, when we are talking about 50% of the Palestinian people, this means that we should reckon the size of Gaza Strip itself, which is 365 kilometers. It means when you're gonna compare it to any place here in Nigeria or in Africa, it means nothing. And to compose or to put 2.2 million a human being in this very tiny area, this means that the situation before the war itself launched by Israel is horrific. What about the situation now, when you compress, when you send 50% and forcefully send 50%? So that when you talk about the situation in Gaza, there is many topics and many issues that we can tackle it, whether it is a humanitarian issue, whether it is when it came to the hospitals, when it came to the medicine supplies, all of this stuff, water supplies, electricity, all the very basic needs for the human life in Gaza is completely shut down by the Israeli occupation. This is the point. Beside that, of course, and on top of that, what is happening on the globe. There is a big distance between the streets in Europe, for example, in the United States of America, and their political leaders. There, unfortunately, the pilgrimage that we witnessed a few days ago, since the beginning of this horrific attacks from the Israeli side to on Gaza, the pilgrimage that we witnessed from by the Western leaders to Israel, they came with their weapons also. Not only they came to show political support, they came to show also to give physical support, physical ammunition to the Israeli occupation, so that this is many things we can tackle it. But again, when it came, what is happening in Gaza, horrific massacres, war crimes, genocide, all of these titles can be applied to Gaza right now. Regarding West Bank, approximately 100 Palestinians was completely killed, and some of them was killed for fun. And we have videos taped for that issue since the beginning of October 7. More than 6,000 Palestinians was arrested in West Bank since the beginning of this year. More than 1,200 of them was arrested just since October 7. 2 of them was assassinated, killed in the Israeli jail just in the last 2 days.
All right, that's sounds like a very dire situation. And we know that a convoy of trucks with aid recently were allowed through the Rafah border crossing into the Gaza Strip. What is the state of the humanitarian response to the needs of those in Gaza? Was that convoy enough? Do the Palestinian people, particularly those in Gaza, need more support? And why is the Rafah border crossing with Egypt, why is it closed? Is it because of the Egyptians? Is it because of the Israelis? Is it because of Hamas? Why is the border crossing closed?
Another good question. Indeed, when they talk about the humanitarian aid and they facilitate the humanitarian aid, this is exactly like throwing ash in the eyes. To let the international media to talk about the humanitarian aid. What is happening right now? What is the trucks that came to Gaza is constitute only 1% of the regular trucks that used to come to Gaza or used to enter Gaza before the escalation of the latest Israeli aggression. This means that the need for the Gaza needs right now should be double of the trucks that used to enter before this escalation. But what is happening is just 1%, which is the majority of it, of course, medical supplies, should be medical supplies. This is fair. So that, again, this is just like throwing the ash on the eyes. Regarding Rafah borders, yes, it is still closed because the Israeli threatened the Egyptian and everyone. They will not allow any truck to enter to Gaza. There is hundreds of trucks is still waiting, and hundreds of containers was donated by many people and many countries to be entered to Gaza. Unfortunately, Israel is telling everyone they should to enter, so that not enter this to take this aid to enter the strip. No, not anyone who did not have a control in the ground with all of these air strikes. Neither has anyone in Gaza have a control over these trucks. So that only the UN itself, United Nations, and the Red Cross, whom have the ability to move in Gaza and to facilitate the reaching or the flying aid to that. So that no one in the Palestinian Authority, anyone have control over these trucks. So that, again, we should be completely aware when the Israelis talking about and do a supporter, of course, talking about the unity. What is right now is needed to stop this war You cannot talk about humanitarian aid, then you supply them with a lot of words, you supply them and cover them unequivocal and unconditional, give them unconditional and equivocal political support. What is exactly needed is to stop the massacre. What is exactly needed right now is to stop killing of the innocent people. This is the point. Then we can talk about the humanitarian aid. But to injure 1,000 children and women or innocent people, then to talk about medical supply that will serve 5% or 10% of them. This is again ridiculous. It's, to be frank, this is something. But again, this is the media. This is they play the game in the media all of the time. We was long time ago in Iraq, 20 years ago, everywhere in the world, they used to kill the people. They are talking about the other side, which is the humanitarian aid and the other.
All right. So humanitarian aid is important, but we need to talk about the conflict and looking for a solution. Wait, the reason I started with that is because human lives sound first. Before we start, talking, we need to know, okay, what is this humanitarian situation? But let's look at the conflict itself, Ambassador. You've talked about genocide in Gaza. This conflict had for years now. Yes, Arafat is no with us. Already so. We have Mahmoud about it. We don't even for Yasser Arafat. But when we talk about the bombardment of Gaza as it is right now, we talk about what happened, the incident October 7, 2023. I'm talking about particularly what has defined as Al-Aqsa flood, Operation Al-Aqsa flood. It fired over 5,000 rockets from the Gaza into Israel. Without warning, and civilians were on the wrong side of that. Can you, as ambassador, representative of the government of the state of Palestine, condemn what Hamas did, whilst also we ask the Israeli ambassador to also condemn what Israel is doing? Well, he won't, but to also, say, okay, we don't have to bombard, the Palestinian territory, but we should look for a better solution. So can you condemn what Hamas did?
No, you mentioned many issues, but I should start by correcting the narrative itself, because you mentioned that this is a conflict. No, this is not a conflict. This is this is according to the international law, to the UN, to the everyone all over the world, even the Americans themselves. They call it Israeli occupation to the Palestinian territories, started since 1976. This is the first. When it came, so that we should, because naming or wording have a meaning, so that you cannot talk about conflict, then we could discover that this is the exact issue that the Israeli want everyone to talk about it. Conflict, this means that there is an argument, this is to me or this is to you. No, this is pure Israeli occupation. This is first. Second, when it came to the genocide, it's not happened right now. This genocide, this ethnic cleansing, this war crimes happened long time ago. I got just back again 75, 76 years ago when they conducted, before the establishment of the State of Israel, 52 massacres against the Palestinians. There, Yassine, any one of your followers right now who is listening to us can just Google There Yassine. What's happened?
So you're talking about Haganah.
I'm coming to your point. But again, we should tackle the issue from the root. Otherwise, we are just dealing with the symptom. We are just giving we know there is a headache, there is a disease, there is something wrong. And to do a final solution to this, or final treatment to this headache, this means that we should not tackle the symptom. We should go to the root, so that when it came to the massacres, when it came to the genocide, it happened long time ago. This is not the first time.
So anyone can Ambassador, sorry to interrupt you. Are you talking about Haganah?
Haganah, yes, the Haganah. And the chief of the Haganah, he became the Prime Minister of Israel, Menachem Begin. Anyone can Google this issue, because again, there is root to this issue. The Palestinian faced the genocide long time ago. The Palestinians 75 years ago was completely ethnically cleansed from their homeland. Tantura, just a few more less than 2 years ago. And there is conducting Tantura massacre is I think what happened, and how did they kill hundreds of Palestinian people. This is something we know it. So that this is again another episode of the massacres that was conducted by the Israeli gangs, by the Israeli force.
But Ambassador, question I asked you because of time, because we almost go for a commercial break, is concerning this current situation now. The historical context is very well documented, and you would tell I know much about this when I talk about Haganah. But for what Hamas did on the 7th of October, is it condemnable?
Let me just tell you what did Guterres, the Secretary General of the United Nations, mentioned study. What is happening by Hamas came from vacuum. Again, what do you want? What did you expect the Palestinian people to do after 75 years of humiliation, 75 years of expelling of their homeland? What is accepted? Why do you want all of us to start just to blame the victims? Everyone is blaming the victims. Everyone, even the Muslim media, they started by asking us, do you condemn Hamas? Do you condemn Hamas? Do you condemn yourself? Anyone,
Okay.
you should be, all of us should be very rational. We cannot tackle this issue as if it is the history start just last Saturday, last top 7. This is not true. This will not serve the reality. This will not serve the facts. This will serve both of us, the Israeli and the Palestinian. Otherwise, we will, all of us, in the case with the Western media. No, very important issue. Everyone is asking us to blame ourselves. This is not true. All of us should tackle the root of this issue.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
because
this will be repeated.
Yeah, Ambassador, I will ask the Israeli ambassador the same question I'm asking you for his side. What I'm saying is, whilst your plight is understandable, and it's not today, it's been on for years. He talked about occupied territories. We can talk about the expansion of settlements. We can talk about the right-wing Israelis and all that. But I want to know if the Palestinian government has a position on what happened on October 7th. But Ambassador, please stay with us. We'll go for
We have.
We'll go for
We have a clear-cut
an advert
position.
break. We'll come back after the break to continue, please. Thank you very much.
Okay, but we have a clear-cut position.
Boys
This
and
will
girls
come
of the
back.
city of Lagos, it has now been extended. Yes, the closing date for the I Beg to Differ debate auditions has now been extended. Secondary school students from the ages 13 to 16 can still compete for the grand prize of 1 million naira because the registration will now end on Friday, October the 27th. The process for registration has not changed. Visit our website www.nigeriainfo.fm, click the I Beg to Differ banner on the homepage and complete the registration form. Do not forget to upload a 4-minute audio of yourself arguing for and arguing against a given topic. Successful candidates will still be contacted via the email, either that of yourself or your parents. Again, remember the website is nigeriainfo.fm. That is www.nigeriainfo.fm. Click the I Beg to Differ banner on the homepage and begin your journey to registration and probably 1 million naira.
This is an infomercial.
We're still discussing right here, talking about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, though our guest says it's not a conflict, it's a genocide. He is the extraordinary and plenipotentiary ambassador of the state of Palestine to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Abdullah Abu Shawesh. He joins us live from his office in Abuja. I don't think we have time to take calls, so we will move on to the final leg of our conversation. Ambassador, the United Nations Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, he's been, talking, and he's spoken in a way I haven't heard a UN Secretary General speak, at least since the days of Boutros Ghali. He has condemned what's going on in Gaza, and he's, he said that I want to take his words before the Security Council yesterday. The Security Council, which is a 15-member UN body. He says that, quote, it is important to recognize the attacks by Hamas did not happen in a vacuum. He says, quote, the Palestinian people have been subjected to 56 years of suffocating occupation. Now, that's really pretty remarkable from a UN Secretary General. Ambassador.
Sure. But before I go to comment on this, you asked me before you go to break whether we condemn. Yes, we're going to condemn many things. First and foremost, the notorious Balfour Declaration. We strongly denounce and condemn Balfour Declaration, which gifted our historical homeland to the European Jewish. Persecution, we strongly condemn with all strongest term persecution, injustice, ethnic cleansing, contempt, racial supremacy, the daily attack on Palestinians from settler gangs, murder for entertainment, murder the Palestinian in West Bank for entertainment, for just fun, to make fun. Should be completely condemned. Arbitrary arrest, land confiscation, this creation of Islamic and the Christians cities in East Jerusalem, in occupied East Jerusalem, should be completely condemned. The demolition of our homes in West Bank should be completely condemned. Double standards from the Western world. The leaders whom came or whom pilgrimage to Israel, to not to show that only to the political support, but also to gifted them a military support that killed our people, innocent people in Gaza, should be completely and totally condemned. This is the issue. The Western media, the Western media, which did not see and did not will not see, one who did not want to see the picture of the children that have been killed and torn. Israeli forest. This is what should be condemned. Silence of the national community, double standard, hypocrisy, it's completely condemned. And back to Mr. Guterres. Yes, Mr. Guterres yesterday touched base of the basic of the issue. How did I used to tell everyone this not came from vacuum? If it not came October 7th, it came because there is a root cause for this issue. There is a cause for Palestinian to legitimate raise and resist this situation. Again, there is a root to this problem. We should all be rational enough to tackle the root of this problem. This is what happened or this is what Mr. Guterres touched a bit. He did not mention it because many things to talk. He should, as upon his duty or according to his duty. But now take a look who is calling for him to be resigned. All the occupation is attacking him just because he tackled the root of the issue. Israeli Prime Minister, Israel itself, and all of their supporters calling to resign. They considering him is not fit to his. Again, Guterres just touched base 1% of the issue. What happening there? So that's Guterres. They mentioned this did not came vacuum. This means that we should back to the root of the issue, which, as Guterres mentioned, 1967 to 1948.
All right. So you're saying it's not 1967, but it's 1948 when the Israeli states were created.
Yes, that just happened there. The division of the historical land design happened there. When we set to the negotiation table, we set on the base of two basic resolutions, 181, which is in 1948, 1949. So this is the basic.
But before we go, it's argued that the PLO said by Yasser Arafat, great man, to a two-state solution. Is that what Antonio Guterres is talking about?
Yes, we agree. We accept, and we have the Palestinians have one song, one time, and one two-state solution. International law. This is the issue that we are trying to apply. We, the Palestinians, accept to and sit to the negotiation table and accept to bet our stake in only 22% of the historical land of Palestine. The historical land of Palestine, which we said it due to the unitary formulation and due to the 1940. We accepted as a Palestinian our state in 22%. This is a great issue that Mr. Arad accepted. But unfortunately, we didn't have, the Israeli is not serious at all. They did stop settlement in West Bank, which should be the remaining part of the historical land of Palestine, to build our state. They did not stop demolishing our home. If you accept as an Israeli side, you accept to build to accept the two-state solution as the final solution and the just, we're gonna say call it a just solution. How come you're accepting it theoretically in the ground you're implementing it?
So you're talking about the settlements, the expansion of the settlements.
Yes, the situation of Holy Dam. I'm pretty sure no one about this issue. Cultivation of the Palestinian land, expansion of the settlement. Now there is a very vast issue is happening. Just a few days ago, militarizing the settlements. Officially, they start militarizing and giving new automatic weapons. Just you know what this will lead to another massacres against Palestinian villages, which is
these are non-state actors in Israel. These are militias. Is that what you're saying?
No, of course, it's fanatic. They call them the youth of the Shabab fanatic, Messianic, and many Jewish young boys who is just patrolling the.
Yes, I'm so sorry we have to call it a day. But we'll keep our eyes on this. I would still love to have back to talk some more as a situation unfolds. I have to all of you, the Palestinian people, for what you're going. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Very much.
Thank you very much for your time. Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3. Also Twitter, Nigeria FM, and Instagram at Nigeria Info.